Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cowboys and Cattle. In our last episode, outside the Alaska facility, Ty finally met Daniel, the man he'd saved from 2 weeks of starvation and 2 years of solitary confinement. Their reunion was profound and emotional, as Daniel confirmed what Ty feared. He barely remembered Daniel's face or name, but he'd remembered the promise. Through their conversation, we learned how they met 3 years into Ty's captivity. Both veterinarians from Calgary forced to work on Nathan's mutations alongside about 20 other vets. Most were kidnapped like Ty and Daniel, but some came voluntarily for money and actively supported Nathan. Ty and Daniel bonded over their shared hometown, planning their first escape together. It failed. Nathan separated them, putting Daniel in solitary confinement for 2 years. They met again during Ty's second escape attempt, when Ty made his promise without fully remembering who Daniel was. Then Daniel revealed his devastating tragedy. His wife Emma died during childbirth, and 3 days later Nathan kidnapped him, separating him from newborn daughter Sophie. For 5 years he wondered if Sophie even knew he existed. As the helicopter took Daniel to Anchorage, Ty promised to help reunite him with his daughter. Exhausted beyond measure, Ty and Amy finally slept, real peaceful sleep for the first time in days. If this journey has gripped you, please hit that like button and subscribe. Today brings what should be a joyful moment, Ty and Amy returning home to Heartland, reuniting with Lyndy after days of facing nightmares in Alaska. The family has been counting hours, waiting for them to walk through the door safe and whole. But sometimes coming home from trauma is harder than surviving it. Sometimes the place that should feel safest feels the most dangerous, because you finally have permission to fall apart. And sometimes success in one area masks devastating cost in another. Ty saved Daniel's life and helped rescue 27 horses, but he paid a price in Alaska that no one fully understands yet, not even Ty himself. This is episode 89, and today we learn that some victories cost more than we can afford to pay. The flight home, the plane from Anchorage to Calgary, was only half full, allowing Ty and Amy to claim a row to themselves near the back. Amy had deliberately chosen seats away from other passengers, sensing that Ty needed space and privacy for whatever might happen during the 4-hour flight. What happened was silence. Heavy, oppressive silence. Ty sat by the window, his forehead pressed against the cold glass, staring at the landscape 30,000 feet below. His hands gripped the armrests with white-knuckled intensity. His breathing was carefully controlled, the deliberate rhythm of someone using Dr. Chen's techniques to keep panic at bay. Amy sat beside him, her hand resting on his arm, providing physical contact without demanding interaction. She'd tried conversation twice in the first hour. Both attempts had been met with single-word responses or silence, so she'd stopped trying. The flight attendant approached with the beverage cart, her professional smile bright. "Can I get you anything? Coffee? Soda? Water?"
2 waters, please.
The attendant handed over 2 bottles, her eyes flickering to Ty with mild concern before moving on. Amy opened one bottle and placed it in Ty's hand. He took it automatically, but didn't drink, just held it like he'd forgotten what to do with it.
Ty, you need to stay hydrated. Please drink something.
He lifted the bottle to his lips and took a small sip, then set it down. The mechanical nature of the action, like he was following commands rather than choosing actions, made Amy's chest tight with worry. A sudden sound made Ty flinch violently, just the overhead bin opening as someone retrieved luggage. But Ty's entire body went rigid, his breathing accelerating from controlled to rapid. His eyes darted around the cabin, searching for threats that didn't exist. Amy immediately engaged the grounding technique. The exercise was working. Ty's breathing beginning to slow, but the fact that he needed it from such a minor trigger showed how fragile his mental state had become.
You're safe. We're going home. Just a few more hours.
I know, but my body doesn't believe it. Every sound, every movement, my brain thinks I'm still there, still in the facility.
His voice was flat, emotionless, which somehow made it worse than if he'd been crying.
It's going to take time to readjust. You've been in survival mode for days. Your nervous system needs time to calm down.
What if it doesn't? What if this is just how I am now?
Then we deal with it. But Ty, you managed your nightmares before Alaska. You were making progress. You'll get back there.
But even as Amy spoke the reassurance, doubt crept in. Because Ty before Alaska had been struggling but functional, Ty sitting beside her now seemed barely holding himself together with sheer willpower. The flight continued in silence. Ty returned to staring out the window, his jaw clenched, his entire body radiating tension. Amy watched him with growing concern, wondering what exactly had happened in those days in Alaska that had broken through the progress he'd made. When the captain announced their descent into Calgary, Ty's hands began shaking visibly. Coming home should be a relief, should be safety, but Amy could see in his expression that he was terrified of something she didn't understand yet. As the plane touched down, Ty closed his eyes and whispered something Amy almost didn't catch.
Please let me be able to do this. Please let me be able to be what they need.
Amy's heart broke. He was already preparing to pretend he was okay. Already planning to hide how much he was struggling, because that's what Ty did. Protected the people he loved even when he was falling apart. They collected their minimal luggage and made their way through the terminal. Every step toward Heartland, Ty's anxiety seemed to increase rather than decrease. By the time they reached the parking lot where Lou had left Amy's truck, Ty was using the breathing techniques continuously just to remain functional.
Do you want me to drive?
No, I can do it. I need to do something normal, something that feels like my life instead of the nightmare.
He climbed into the driver's seat, his hands gripping the steering wheel. Amy got in beside him, watching carefully as Ty started the engine and pulled out of the parking space with exaggerated care. The drive to Heartland normally took 45 minutes. Ty drove it in 60, his speed well below the limit, his attention hyper-vigilant on every other vehicle on the road. When a truck passed them going the opposite direction, Ty swerved slightly, his body reacting to perceived threat before his mind could identify safety.
Pull over. Let me drive.
I'm fine.
You're not fine, and that's okay. But I need you to let me help you.
Ty pulled onto the shoulder, his hands shaking as he put the truck in park. They switched positions, Amy taking over driving while Ty pressed his forehead against the passenger window. His breathing labored. By the time Heartland came into view, the familiar ranch buildings, the mountains in the background, the pastures where horses grazed, Amy expected to see Ty relax. Instead, he became more tense.
They're all going to be waiting, expecting me to be okay, to have succeeded. And I did succeed. I saved Daniel, helped rescue the horses. But Amy, I don't feel like I succeeded. I feel like I barely survived, and I don't know how to pretend otherwise.
Then, don't pretend. Just be honest. Let them see you're struggling.
And terrify Lyndy? Let her see her father is broken?
Let her see her father is human. There's a difference.
The reunion. As Amy turned into Heartland's driveway, they could see the family gathered on the porch. Lou, Jack, Lisa, all watching anxiously for the truck's arrival. And in front of them, practically bouncing with anticipation, was Lyndy, 9 years old with blonde hair in her signature braid, blue eyes bright with excitement, dimples showing even from a distance as she smiled. She'd been counting hours for days, waiting for this moment. The truck had barely stopped before Lyndy was running toward it, her small legs carrying her as fast as they could move. Amy had barely opened her door before Lyndy was there. "Mom! Daddy! You're home! You're actually home!" Ty climbed out of the passenger side more slowly, his movements careful, like someone whose body hurt. Lyndy reached him and threw herself at him with the complete trust and abandon of a child who'd been terrified and was now relieved.
Hey, princess. I'm here. I'm home.
He wrapped his arms around her, lifting her slightly despite his exhaustion. But Amy noticed what Lyndy wouldn't. Ty's body was rigid. His embrace, while present, lacked the natural warmth it should have. He was holding Lyndy like something precious, but also like someone going through motions without fully connecting. Lyndy pulled back, her hands on Ty's face, examining him like she needed to verify he was real. "You were gone so long. I counted. It was 4 whole days. That's 96 hours. I know because I counted every single one."
I'm sorry you had to count, but I'm back now, just like I promised.
"Did you find him? The person you went to save?"
Yeah, we found him. He's alive. He's going to be okay.
"Good, because you promised you'd come back. And you did. You always keep your promises. The weight of that statement, the complete faith in Ty B's integrity, made his expression crack slightly. He pulled Lyndy close again, hiding his face in her shoulder. Lou approached, wrapping Amy in a tight hug before turning to Ty.
Welcome home, both of you. We were so worried.
Jack and Lisa came down from the porch, Jack moving slower than usual, still recovering from his recent health issues. But his embrace when he reached Ty was strong.
Good to have you home, son. How was it?
Hard. But we accomplished what we went there to do.
His voice was carefully neutral, revealing nothing of the internal struggle. Jack's withered face showed he wasn't fooled, but he didn't push.
Well, you're home now. That's what matters.
They moved toward the house as a group, Lyndy holding Ty's hand, chattering about everything that had happened while they were gone. Katie had taught her a new card game. The horses had all been good. She'd helped Gigi with chores every day. She'd been brave, just like Ty asked. Ty listened, responding with appropriate sounds, but Amy could see his attention drifting. His eyes kept scanning the property. The barn, the pastures, the fence line. Hyper-vigilant, looking for threats in the place that should feel safest. Inside the house, Lou had prepared a welcome home meal. The kitchen smelled of roast chicken and fresh bread. Under normal circumstances, Ty would have been hungry after minimal eating in Alaska, but he sat at the table looking at the food like he couldn't remember how to eat. You must be exhausted. When did you last sleep?
Last night in Anchorage. But before that, it was rough.
Well, you're home now. You can rest, actually rest.
But Ty's posture suggested rest was the last thing he could do. His body was wire-tight with tension, his hands gripping his water glass like an anchor. Dinner conversation flowed around him. The family was being carefully cheerful, trying to provide normalcy. Lyndy sat pressed against Ty's side, her need for physical closeness evident. Every few minutes she'd touch his arm or lean against him, reassuring herself he was real.
Princess, you should eat. Your food's getting cold.
I'm not that hungry. I just want to sit with you.
I'm not going anywhere. I promise. But you need to eat.
Lyndy reluctantly focused on her plate, but her eyes kept returning to Ty's face. Amy watched the interaction, seeing Lyndy's anxiety and Ty's struggle to provide reassurance he didn't fully feel. After dinner, Lyndy wanted Ty to see something in the barn, a drawing she'd made of him and Amy in Alaska. Ty agreed, clearly forcing himself to engage when all he wanted was to retreat. As they walked to the barn, Amy stayed close, watching Ty's reactions. The familiar building, the smell of hay and horses, all the things that normally grounded Ty seemed to be having the opposite effect. Inside the barn, Ty froze. The smell hit him like a physical force. Concrete and hay and horses and chemicals. His breathing stopped. His vision tunneled. He was back in Alaska, in the breeding facility, surrounded by suffering animals and memories of forced complicity.
Ty, what's wrong?
But he couldn't respond, couldn't move. His entire body had gone rigid, his mind trapped in a flashback so vivid he couldn't distinguish past from present. Lyndy's small voice frightened. Daddy? Are you okay? The sound of his daughter's fear cut through marginally. Ty blinked, his vision clearing slightly. He was at Heartland, not Alaska. Home, safe, but his body wouldn't believe it.
Lyndy, sweetie, go get Aunt Lou. Tell her we need help.
But Daddy...
Now please. It's okay, but I need you to get Lou. Can you do that for me?
Lyndy ran, her braid bouncing behind her, her small form disappearing toward the house. Amy turned her full attention to Ty, who was still frozen.
5 things you can see. Come on, Ty, look around. What do you see?
Can't see anything but the facility, the horses, Storm and Echo and Luna. I can see them. They're suffering, and I can't help them, and I can't...
His breathing was becoming rapid, panicked. Amy took his face in her hands, forcing him to look at her.
You're home. Those horses aren't here. That facility isn't here. You're safe, Ty. You're safe.
Doesn't feel safe. Nothing feels safe. Everything feels like a threat.
Lou appeared at the barn entrance, took in the scene immediately. She approached cautiously.
What can I do?
Help me ground him. He's having a flashback. Ty, listen to Lou's voice. Tell her what you can touch right here in this barn.
The stall door. It's wood. Heartland wood, not Alaska metal. I can feel splinters. That's real. That's here.
Good. What else?
Amy's hands on my face. Warm, real.
You're doing great. Keep going. What can you hear?
Horses, but not suffering. Just eating. Normal sounds. Peaceful sounds.
Gradually, over several minutes, Ty's breathing began to normalize. His vision cleared. The present solidified around him. He was at Heartland, in the barn he'd worked in for years. Not in Alaska, not in the facility. Home. When he finally spoke, his voice was broken.
I'm sorry. I thought I could handle being back here. But the smell, the space, it triggered everything. I couldn't stop it.
You don't need to apologize. But Ty, this is bad. This is worse than before you left.
I know it's worse. Alaska was supposed to help. Finding Daniel. Helping the horses. It was supposed to give me closure. But it just opened everything up again. Made it all raw.
We need to call Dr. Chen tonight. This can't wait.
The deterioration. By the time they got Ty back to the house, his exhaustion was overwhelming. Amy helped him upstairs to their bedroom while Lou explained to Lyndy that Daddy was very tired from the trip and needed rest. But rest didn't come. Ty lay in bed, eyes closed, body rigid with tension. Amy lay beside him, her hand in his, feeling him fight sleep because sleep meant nightmares.
You need to rest. Your body needs it.
I'm afraid of what I'll see when I close my eyes. The nightmares before Alaska were bad. But after seeing that facility again, after witnessing the horses, after finding Daniel in that cell, I know the nightmares are going to be worse. So much worse.
Then I'll be right here. I'll wake you if it gets bad.
You can't stop them, Amy. Nobody can. They're inside my head, and there's no escape.
Despite his resistance, exhaustion eventually won. Ty's body simply shut down, dragging him into sleep, whether he wanted it or not. The nightmare came within an hour. Ty's body began moving restlessly, small sounds of distress escaping, then louder sounds, then words.
No, can't save them. Trying, but they're dying. Storm, I'm sorry. Echo, please. Luna, I promised. I promised I'd help you.
His voice rose to a shout.
I'm trying. I'm trying to save them, but I can't. There's too many and I can't.
Amy tried to wake him gently, shaking his shoulder, speaking his name. But Ty was too deep in the nightmare, thrashing now, his arms moving like he was trying to reach something.
Daniel, where are you? I promised I'd come back. I can't find you. The corridor is gone, and I can't.
He bolted upright with a scream that must have carried through the entire house. His eyes were open but seeing nothing of the present. Sweat soaked his shirt. His chest heaved with rapid breathing.
Ty, you're home. You're at Heartland. It's Amy. Look at me.
But Ty's eyes were wild, unfocused. He scrambled backward against the headboard, his hands up defensively.
Stay back. Nathan, I won't help you anymore. I don't care what you do to me. I won't create more suffering.
It's not Nathan. It's Amy. Your wife. You're safe. You're home.
She kept her voice calm, authoritative, the way Dr. Chen had taught her. Gradually, Ty's eyes began to focus. He saw Amy, saw the bedroom at Heartland, saw safety instead of threat. The realization of where he was hit him like a wave. He doubled over, gasping, his entire body shaking.
Oh God, it's happening again. The nightmares, but worse, so much worse than before.
Breathe with me. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6.
They breathed together, Ty struggling to match the rhythm. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. His eyes kept darting around the room like threats might materialize from shadows. A soft knock at the door. Lou's voice, gentle.
Amy, is everything okay?
Come in.
Lou entered, her expression showing she'd heard the screaming. Behind her, in the hallway, stood Jack and Lisa, both worried.
That sounded really bad. Worse than the nightmares before you left.
She addressed this to Amy, but Ty answered, his voice hoarse.
It was worse, because now I have new material. New horror to add to the collection. 3 horses dying. Daniel starving in a cell. The facility, all of it mixing with the old nightmares, creating something even more devastating.
Lou sat on the edge of the bed, careful not to crowd Ty but close enough to show support.
Ty, I need to say something and I need you to hear it. Alaska didn't help you. It made you worse. You went there to save Daniel and help the horses, and you did those things, but the cost was your own mental health. And I don't think any of us understood how high that cost would be.
I had to go. Daniel was waiting. The horses were suffering.
I know. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have gone. I'm saying we need to acknowledge that success in one area doesn't mean success overall. You saved lives in Alaska, but you're losing yourself in the process, and we need to address that before it gets even worse.
Amy's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. Dr. Chen, responding to the emergency message Amy had sent earlier.
Dr. Chen can come tomorrow morning. First thing, she's clearing her schedule.
I don't need.
Yes, you do. And Ty, this isn't optional anymore. You need intensive help and you need it now. Before these nightmares completely destroy you, before the flashbacks make it impossible to function, before you lose the ability to be present for Lyndy.
The mention of his daughter made Ty's resistance crumble slightly.
Is she awake? Did I scare her with the screaming?
She's asleep. Katie's with her, keeping her company. But Ty, Lou's right. This can't continue. You need help beyond what we can provide.
Ty nodded slowly, too exhausted to argue anymore. Lou stood, squeezing his shoulder gently before leaving. Jack and Lisa followed, giving Ty and Amy privacy. Alone again. Amy helped Ty lie back down. But sleep was impossible now. Ty stared at the ceiling, his body rigid with tension, his mind racing with images he couldn't shut off.
Talk to me. What are you thinking?
That I made a mistake. Going to Alaska. I thought I was strong enough. Thought the therapy I'd done with Dr. Chen had prepared me. But being in that facility, seeing those horses, finding Daniel in that cell, it broke something in me that was just starting to heal, and I don't know if I can fix it again.
You're not broken. You're wounded. There's a difference.
It doesn't feel different. It feels like I'm falling apart, and there's nothing to hold on to.
Then hold on to me. Hold on to Lyndy. Hold on to this family. We're here, we're real, and we're not letting you fall.
Ty turned to look at his wife, seeing the exhaustion on her face, the worry in her eyes. She'd been in Alaska with him, had witnessed the horses suffering, had supported him through every moment, and now she was trying to hold him together when she must be struggling too.
How are you doing? With everything we saw? You haven't talked about it.
I'm processing. It was hard, watching you suffer, watching the horses suffer, being there when they died. But Ty, my struggle is different from yours. I wasn't held captive there. I didn't have years of trauma attached to that place, so yes, it affected me, but not the way it affected you.
I'm sorry I brought you there. Sorry you had to witness all of that.
I chose to go, and I'd choose it again, because you needed support, and I wasn't going to let you face that alone.
They lay together in the darkness, neither sleeping, both processing trauma in their own ways. Eventually, gray dawn light began filtering through the curtains. Neither had slept since the nightmare. When they finally went downstairs, they found Lou already in the kitchen making coffee. She took one look at them and knew.
Neither of you slept.
Couldn't. The nightmare was too intense.
Lou poured 2 cups of coffee, sliding them across the counter. Her expression showed deep concern.
Amy, can I talk to you privately?
They moved to the living room, leaving Ty at the kitchen table. Once out of earshot, Lou's carefully maintained composure cracked.
He's not okay. He's really not okay. And I'm scared that we're watching him deteriorate and we don't know how to stop it.
Dr. Chen is coming this morning.
I know. But Amy, I don't think professional help is enough. The damage from Alaska is too severe. It's not going to be easy, but for now, just stay close with him. Let's just hope for the best.
Amy wanted to argue, wanted to insist Ty needs help right now, but she couldn't, because Lou was voicing the fear Amy had been trying to suppress.
We get him whatever help he needs. We don't give up on him.
I'm not suggesting we give up. I'm saying we need to prepare for the possibility that recovery might take longer than we hoped, might require more intensive intervention. And in the meantime, we need to protect Lyndy from seeing her father completely fall apart.
She lives here. She's going to see him struggling.
We manage what she sees. We explain age appropriately. We make sure she knows none of this is her fault or her responsibility to fix. We let her be a kid instead of a caretaker.
Before Amy could respond, Ty appeared in the doorway. His expression showed he'd heard at least part of the conversation.
You're right about protecting Lyndy. She shouldn't have to witness this. Maybe I should stay somewhere else until I'm more stable.
No, absolutely not. You're not going anywhere.
I'm scaring her.
You're not scaring her. And leaving would scare her more than staying and getting help.
The sound of a vehicle in the driveway interrupted the conversation. Dr. Chen, arriving earlier than expected. She must have driven through the night after receiving Amy's emergency message. Amy opened the door, relief flooding through her at the sight of the therapist who'd helped Ty so much before Alaska. I came as soon as I could. How is he?
Bad. Worse than before the trip. Nightmares intensified. Flashback in the barn last night. He's barely holding himself together.
Dr. Chen's expression became grimly professional. Let me see him. The emergency session Dr. Chen set up in the den, the same room where she'd conducted Ty's first therapy session. But this time, the atmosphere was different, more urgent, more desperate. Ty sat across from her, his exhaustion evident in every line of his body. He hadn't showered since leaving Alaska, hadn't changed clothes, hadn't done anything beyond survive the past 12 hours. Talk to me about Alaska. What happened there that's made your PTSD worse?
Everything. Seeing the facility. Being inside the rooms where I was tortured. Finding the horses. Storm, Echo, and Luna. Suffering from mutations I was forced to help create. Watching them die or having to authorize their deaths. Finding Daniel in that cell, barely alive. All of it.
And the nightmares?
More intense. More detailed. Before Alaska, they were fragmented. Pieces of memory without full context. Now they're complete scenes. I'm reliving specific moments with perfect clarity, and I can't shut them off.
The flashback Amy mentioned. Tell me about that.
In the barn, the smell triggered it. Suddenly, I wasn't at Heartland anymore. I was back in the breeding facility. Could see the horses suffering. Could hear Nathan's voice. Couldn't distinguish past from present for several minutes.
Dr. Chen made notes, her expression showing concern. Thais, I need you to understand something. Going to Alaska was a re-traumatization event. You walked back into the place where you were tortured, saw physical evidence of your forced complicity, found a friend you'd forgotten about in terrible condition, and processed all of it while in an acute stress state. Your nervous system has been completely overwhelmed.
So what do I do? How do I fix this?
You don't fix it quickly. This isn't something we can address in a few sessions. You need intensive treatment, possibly daily therapy, definitely medication to help manage the anxiety and nightmares. And you need to accept that recovery is going to take time.
I don't have time. I have a daughter who needs me functional. I have a wife who's already sacrificed too much. I have a ranch that needs work. I can't just fall apart for months.
And what happens if you don't take time to heal properly? What happens when the nightmares get so bad you can't sleep at all? When the flashbacks become so frequent you can't function? When your body just gives up from the stress? Her words hit hard, because Ty could feel himself approaching that edge, could feel his grip on stability slipping. I'm going to be direct with you. You're in crisis. Acute psychiatric crisis, and we need to treat it as such. I'm recommending daily therapy sessions for the next 2 weeks, minimum. I'm prescribing medication, anti-anxiety for daytime, something to help with sleep and nightmares at night. And I need you to commit to this. Really commit. Not just go through the motions. Before Ty could respond, Amy's phone rang. She glanced at the screen and her expression changed.
It's Morrison.
She answered, stepping into the hallway. Dr. Chen and Ty sat in silence. Ty processing the reality that his condition was serious enough to require intensive intervention. Then Amy's voice from the hallway, shocked and frightened. I have bad news. One of the vets we rescued from the Alaska facility, Dr. Marcus Webb, was found dead in Seattle this morning. Apparent home invasion, but it looks like murder. Someone executed him.
What? When? Oh my God.
Amy's blood ran cold. Ty understood something was wrong as Amy's voice said it all. Amy had to tell him everything. He put the phone on speaker.
What?
We're investigating, but initial evidence suggests professional hit, and Dr. Webb was scheduled to testify at Nathan's trial next week. He was a key witness who could corroborate Ty's testimony about the breeding programs and forced complicity.
You think someone's eliminating witnesses?
I think we have to consider that possibility. Council remnants might be trying to prevent testimony, which means everyone who can testify against Nathan is potentially at risk.
Including me.
Including you. Ty, I need to ask, have you noticed anyone following you? Any suspicious activity around Heartland? Anything out of the ordinary?
Morrison, my entire mental state is out of the ordinary right now. I'm having flashbacks and nightmares constantly. I couldn't tell you if someone was following me because I can barely tell present from past.
I'm sending protective detail to Heartland. They'll be discreet, but they'll be watching. And Ty, be careful. Don't go anywhere alone. Don't trust anyone you don't know. And if you see anything suspicious, call me immediately. After ending the call, Ty sat in stunned silence. Dr. Chen, Amy, and Lou, who'd been listening from the hallway, all watched him process the information.
Someone killed one of the vets. Someone's eliminating witnesses. And I'm a prime witness, which means my family is in danger. Again.
His breathing was accelerating toward panic. Dr. Chen's voice cut through. Ty, look at me. Right now, in this moment, you're safe. Your family is safe, and the FBI is taking precautions. Don't let fear of what might happen destroy you when we're dealing with what is happening.
But what if?
No what ifs. Right now, this moment. Are you safe?
Yes.
Is your family safe?
Yes.
Then we deal with right now. We work on your recovery, and we let the FBI handle security. Can you do that? Ty wanted to say yes, wanted to believe he could focus on healing while potential threats circled, but the reality was he'd just learned that surviving Nathan's captivity wasn't the end of the danger. Someone was still hunting. Someone was still dangerous, and Ty's testimony could be the thing that put Nathan away forever, or the thing that got Ty's family killed. As Dr. Chen continued talking about treatment plans and coping strategies, Ty's mind was already spiraling to worst-case scenarios. Someone had killed Dr. Webb. Someone might come for Ty next. And if they did, would they stop at just Ty? Or would they go after Amy? After Lyndy? The Alaska trip that was supposed to bring closure had instead opened a door to new nightmares, both psychological and potentially physical. And Ty, already barely holding himself together, had to find a way to protect his family while falling apart. That concludes today's episode. Ty and Amy flew home from Alaska, but the relief of returning to Heartland was overshadowed by Ty's deteriorating mental state. On the plane, Ty flinched at every sound, requiring constant grounding techniques just to remain functional. The reunion with Lyndy was emotional. She'd counted every hour they were gone and threw herself at Ty with complete trust. But Amy noticed Ty was rigid, going through motions without fully connecting. That first night, the worst nightmare yet. Ty screaming about failing to save Storm, Echo, Luna, and Daniel. The nightmare was more intense than anything before Alaska, complete scenes rather than fragments. In the barn, a flashback triggered by familiar smells left Ty frozen, unable to distinguish past from present for terrifying minutes. Lou pulled Amy aside with brutal honesty. He's worse than before you left. Alaska didn't help. It made everything worse. Dr. Chen arrived for an emergency session, delivering hard truth. Ty was an acute psychiatric crisis requiring intensive treatment, daily therapy, medication, real commitment to recovery. Just as they were processing this, Morrison called with devastating news. Dr. Marcus Webb, one of the rescued vets from Alaska, was found murdered in Seattle. Apparent professional hit. Webb was scheduled to testify against Nathan at his upcoming trial. Morrison's conclusion: someone is eliminating witnesses. Council remnants protecting Nathan. And Ty is a prime witness, which means he's a target. FBI protective detail is being sent to Heartland. As Ty processed the information that surviving Alaska wasn't the end, that new dangers were emerging, that his family might be threatened again, his already fragile mental state spiraled further. Someone is hunting witnesses. Someone killed Dr. Webb, and Ty, barely holding himself together, has to find a way to protect his family while falling apart. Join us next time as the danger escalates and Ty faces threats both internal and external. If this episode gripped you with Ty's deterioration and the emerging danger, please like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cowboys and Cattle.